I promise, I totally did not go ham on neon elements. It's fine. I got all hung up in the... I was mainly here for look to a Koneko sticker and some card skins. For another laptop. Because I might be... Cat might be taking this one and I might be getting a loot laptop from next year. Just to make logistics work out. But I also came across... Rebecca pre-orders. So Lucy, so I kind of had hair on some Edge Runner stuff. Anywho, welcome back. As you probably can see, our shit is quote unquote about clean. Now it's washing. We're gonna take and wash the floor now and then vacuum up the laughs that washes out from here. Then we're gonna head out with that trash. If you're wondering. Oh god. Fuck. Ikumi, past live stream she did. Amazing VTuber ASMR artist. You go check her out. Both on Twitch and YouTube. Go straight Ikumi, I-K-U-M-I. She also plays games from time to time. That's mostly over on Twitch. So yeah, so I've just been using the outlet for speakers to get power. Everything else is shut off. You know how we talked about that whole painting ID? It's the 15th today, 16th tomorrow, 17th on Monday. So this is not that long until I get my money. We're just gonna leave the audio stuff out of here and we're actually gonna go through with the plan of painting these walls in that one gray color. And then we'll have the walls in gray and then we'll maybe do a color in the roof. Not a dark color, but more maybe a lighter red, yellow, lime green, you know, something bright and vivid. Not something as dark as this fauna color 5785 S530 P50G is what this one is. And then I'll see if I can find a more brighter red for the kitchen too. And then maybe repaint the kitchen, because when we get gray, I feel like this is a little too dark red to be a contrast for that. Since basically what's gonna happen, I'm gonna get a electrical paint gun and a long extension cord so I can do things a little quick. I'm not gonna think about like overspray on the roof and stuff really, since I'm probably gonna be painting that later anyway. But what I'm gonna do, rip things off. Well, you're about done. Anything else here as far as ASMR goes that we can get through? Anything long, quote unquote, just wondering? Not really. Well, then we'll just start with I've already watched that one, so I can remove that one. I suppose Kitty Minx. That's the kitchen done. So yeah, so pretty much long extension cord. Tightly pack the cardboard properly against. And just cover everything. So that way I can just down the wall and have like half of a wall done in like 10 minutes. Instead of... well, I suppose it was also because I was kind of lazy, but when I first painted this living room, well, I started painting it out in... after I moved. I think I moved there November 8th, and then I started in the kitchen, which I used pretty much one day on. Bathroom, which I also pretty much used one day on. I used about 2-3 days on the bedroom, which technically needs another coat of paint. If you look in the roof and like in here, there is some you can see it should have had another coat. So not a perfect job. And then, well, then I got kind of caught up with some FTB. So then that table was actually over here. It didn't even have the mat on yet, which needs to be swapped out, quote unquote. But I was sitting here with like the mixer. I plugged into my, no, not even my mixer actually, or my mixer was standing here. I did have it plugged in because I was doing some music stuff. No, my mic was going through there, I believe, but I was sitting here doing network stuff and Minecraft stuff, and then the release of Farming Sim 2020 came out around the 20th. So then I got occupied with that. And then towards the end of November, I got this first wall painted. I moved stuff over here. I was still on my laptop. And then CSGO, but now my mind died. Which couple were there playing again? Oh boy. But did my Chrome just... But my Chrome just took a dump. What the fuck? That's the ESL Pro League. I'm looking for the... yeah, I don't remember, but it was... well, I don't remember. Anywho, it was that B something league. They were playing in Denmark. So I got caught up in watching that. So pretty much took me somewhere into December before I got done with this wall. And I think we even ended up being, and it took, because I was like 1 month up north or 2, whatnot, throughout the Christmas and stuff. So it pretty much took us up until February or whatnot before we had these, like all the walls in here done. Or whatnot. And then we started on power and stuff and all of that skadoodle and a half. And well, here's where we are now. Pretty much done with all the electrical, technically speaking, besides from getting that in a box and maybe getting a proper feed in. So basically what's gonna happen is that carpet is gonna go down, we're gonna spray paint this wall. Then pretty much what's gonna happen is that everything there, pretty easy technically speaking. It's unplug the top monitor, screw that off the wall, unplug my main station, move that out of the way, just throw that power strip right there on top of the table and plug it, unplug the like 2 Ethernet cables that are going that way. Oh well, the one that's going that way, the other one is just laying on the floor, but the one that goes up into the actual, or the two power plugs and then the one Ethernet that goes over there. And besides from that, that entire rig is fully disconnected from there, and since all the cables are hooked up underneath the table, I don't need to take the cables apart, I just unplug my station. Then I'm going to be moving this table over here, probably move this down in there or up in there. So then my station will be temporarily here, and then I'll just move my server rack over here. Now I'm done painting this wall. Or if I can, I'll probably put it beside there. because that cable is long enough, so I'll just run that cable down along here to give power to the rack, and then that will then be hooked in again. That's also a nice thing if we start doing our Ethernet runs right after I'm done with that, before I move stuff back. It's not going to be that hard because it's a Keystone patch panel, so we can pre-route everything, just make sure we have lots of slack back there, and then we can just hook in the keystones. I mean, if the worst comes to the worst, we'll just have to snip them and just terminate them shorter, but since it's a toolless mechanism, it doesn't take that long to terminate them anyway. Although they're still kind of a pain in the butt, but oh yeah, my point. So that's pretty much kind of where we are, really. I did wash some clothes, so those are hanging here and drying. So yeah, so that's that. This needs to dry. I don't really have a place to dry that, but that's gonna get washed tomorrow. 60 plus there. You know what? Why don't we go out with the trash, shall we? And it's raining. Welcome to Norway autumn, boys. I'm gonna try to not get too wet, so that way I can wipe off my shoes. I can wipe it on the doormat and then kind of wipe them before I go into my actual living room. I mean, I could take my shoes off, but I'm not really a fan of doing a lot of stuff inside without shoes. My feet start to hurt really quickly, and I'm personally just a fan of having shoes on. I could have indoor and out shoes, and I did have for the longest time, but my indoor shoes kinda... Well, I had a pair of outdoor shoes, then I got new shoes, which ended up being these, which is my outdoor shoes now, and then I technically have one pair. They're still quote-unquote indoor shoes, but I have a feeling they're too small now. The other set I threw here the other day into that plastic bag. Well, this thing is empty. Into a plastic bag. The blue one. Yesterday, quote-unquote. So yeah, so that's down in there, and the reason why was because they had like the padding, but the padding did no longer have a actual like fabric on top of it, so it wasn't as comfy to use, and it got friction with your socks. So that was kind of a problem, and yeah, I'll probably do that eventually. Maybe get some Vessi footwear to use outside, and then I'll use these constantly inside. Technically I have these bio bags that we're going to use to put food in, so that way I could empty my food quicker than my main trash, right? Because it's the food, the main case, that makes it smell, you know? Because it deteriorates or whatnot. As all the rest of the other stuff, like say just wet paper or no fabric or stuff like that, other stuff that goes in here might not smell as bad as that. So if I had a separate container for that, I could have bring that out separately. And that is the thing that I think is kind of interesting, because up north in northern Norway we sort both food, general trash, paper and plastic separately, and well, glass and metal. Down here we only do general trash as an inclusion of food trash as a general trash. I mean, you can actually see here, general trash is like everything like books, CD plates, frying butter, glass. That's not, I don't remember. Rubber, leather, and skin. Pet hair and stuff. Cat and bird sand. Like everything, food and baking paper, and food trash, blah 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 blah. You got paper, plastic, dangerous, and glass. Now, kind of interesting that they don't do that down here, but I suppose down here it's Retura. We have two different companies. Retura down here, we got Iris up in northern Norway. I think we have Iris down in Oslo too, I believe, but not here in Trondheim. Maybe I have smaller locations of that, but mainly it's Retura. So yeah. But I suppose that's about it for now. So as far as sound goes, I'll just use the Focusrite Scarlett. If you didn't see it already, I've rigged it up again just to use my mic. Could still probably vacuum the bathroom and the bedroom. I'll do that another day. That's just right to just squeeze in here. Probably, I don't know if you have heard, but if you listen in the hallway here, you can hear that there's basically no echo. Well, that's because all this fabric and stuff is here consuming all the sound. Whilst in here, there was some echo in here before, but now it's even worse, because now pretty much everything besides network rack and gaming desk, and well, another quote-unquote desk and a chair, is all out of here. So there's a lot more places for the sound to reflect off. So yeah, so really fascinating what stuff, what a lot of just furniture shit does to how it sounds in your room. Obviously, sound dampening panels or acoustic panels and bass traps is something that is going to be put up in here after we have painted again. So these have to come down. I'll probably do that later though. So yeah, weird to see the audio system stacked up like this, but also kind of nice. Let's check now. 1, 2, 2.5. Yeah, and then this is about half length. So yeah, is that one Toyota cargo van? Let me actually find it. There's this one Toyota. Yeah, the Toyota Prius Verso. This one, it's a this one is a 9-seater car, but you can take out all the seats and make it into basically a cargo van. So yeah, so basically 838 grand new. Now, first of all, before I can start thinking about a cargo van, I need to try and get my certificate and stuff together first. But once that is in box, that's pretty much when my career starts, pretty much, because that's when I can start using my own car to bring sound equipment out. So that's pretty much when it all starts, pretty much. Some people might be saying this is not really the appropriate time to start thinking about certificate and about the car, but yeah, I know fuel prices is to the price, but it's nothing to get around. For the stuff I want to do, I need a car, so it's nothing to get around. And I have actually been in a Toyota Prius Verso before, because my old place, not the old place, but the old place before there had the car, and then the car got moved. So I have actually moved it, used it when I were at my old place. As you probably remember from an earlier moving vlog, that was the car we used when I initially moved to this place. So it's about 240 meters long in the back. Total length of the car is about 3.2, I believe. I don't remember the width of it, but I think it's like 80 wide or something, I believe. If I remember correctly. Manual, I like manual. Automatic is nice in certain situations, but I prefer manual. So yeah. So yes, that's probably what my plan is gonna be. And as far as loading and unloading, you know, depending on if I get a warehouse or whatnot, I'm probably not gonna bother about getting a forklift myself. If I can find some cheap used ones, maybe. But I do also have the forklift license. I'm not covering up any dates because it doesn't have my personal number. So yeah, I got, as you can see, T4, counterweight truck up to 10 tons, which means if I do need to move pallets, I can. So yeah, so that's pretty much where we are. So I'm gonna, I don't know how much I've actually recorded today, but if I do come back, I come back. If I do not come back, stay tuned and stay awesome.